brilliant mind and mind that are not toxicated with the kind of system. Like education is giving you a particular system. Uishi hivi, ufikirie hivi, ukae hivi. But in as much education should be just like a class, but should not be like the way to make it. How many doctors before doctoral come in? There was once a person who never went to a school of doctor. For us to fly this plane that business people are flying in, it's just two rich brothers who sat down with their backyard, fix things, and the aeroplane flew. But the person who was given the contract and the mandate to make a plane was a scientist who hired the best minds, who hired the best miners, who hired everything best, but it never worked. But the two brothers behind their backyard are the people who made the planes we are flying today. So it tells you that education is giving you like a sort of system. It's like a modern slavery.
Yeah, I agree.
Not all systems. Not all systems.
Listen. And that's why I'm saying education. Even if we are sitting here today and we know that with this cup, tunaweza handle, that is form of education. Education doesn't mean you are in a classroom.
Cynthia, that's why I'm saying stop dismissing education.
Education dismiss the type of structure of education.
Exactly. Because the Egyptians, they were the first people to have a handwriting. A handwriting was being taught in schools to princes who were supposed to be pharaohs. They were given education. It was something to make them be aware of what they are, to understand their religion, to understand the people, to understand everything about the universe. So if it was just oral tradition being passed down from one person to another, why were these people set aside? Why were African communities setting aside royalty to have teaching for them? Sasa vile we changed everything to include even the non-royalty, it was called education. Because for others it was also tradition. What your grandmother said, being given. But for them it was structured. To give them discipline and give them the knowledge to become the wild leaders. So education is really critical. If we choose to dismiss it, then the structure is the problem. The structure is what is bad, but education is key.
Like me always say, what if I was in my village in Turkana somewhere, I would have not known her. I would have not known her. Like, you see, I would have not known how to react to you or how to talk to you. At least education gave us the same language. I can speak to her and her. You see, like, if I was still in the village, singejua Kizungu ama Kiswahili. Sindio? Ningekuja naongea Kiturkana. She cannot understand me. Sindio? I cannot do business with her. I cannot have a conversation like we're having with her like this. So, me, I don't dismiss education. Na kuna time someone was saying that education without education. Yes, you can make it without education, but kuna hiyo display, education will be there.
And that's why nimesema, you guys, when I was talking, it's like, you are not brushing off education. Like, you can't, when a Form 4 is reasoning, and as somebody with masters is reasoning, it's very different because of the kind of education. You get me? What I'm saying is, I didn't get the word structure. There's structured system of education we get that are, like, River Nile is helping me where in life.
Honestly.
Yeah? Where is I wish it actually is education.
Because now you know where it is.
Yes, I know, but
let me tell you from a diplomat's point of view. The reason we learned where the River Nile is, it is the source that gives power to Egypt. So, as a country in Kenya, as a country in Uganda, I have a upper hand to negotiate for a better deal for my country simply because if I cut Lake Victoria, people are going to die of thirst because I have an upper hand in them.
When you don't, like, actually, I support your point because if you look at all these things you learned in school, either way, it is general knowledge and you will need it at some point. What she's saying is true because do you know Egypt has a full army in Uganda to protect the source of River Nile? Because that is what they earn their living from, that is what they do all these things. Like that is basically their life. So if they do not guard that source right now,
then it should be like, what if education, like for instance, at which age do a child start understanding what they love? If this education was a little bit distilled, to to focus maybe on to be mixed together with the talent, to be mixed together with determination, you know. So education is like to be a general bracket. But when I'm going to class, maybe it's to say in the morning we're doing the general education. In the afternoon, it's now structured to like somebody talent, somebody passion. Because you see, many people are doing their careers that it never comes from here. But when you find him playing rugby, it does
from
it.
the soul,
It comes from the soul, from the spirit. But now when he's in the office, he's like, these computers, these software, because this thing, you know. And same to maybe a doctor. The doctors who are, because the father is a doctor, the mother is a doctor, they want to be doctor. No. So even if it's not coming from the heart, even if you're there in patient, it doesn't touch them. But there's doctors, it is from them. And they can do anything to save, like, because it's coming from. I think our education should be distilled at some
What I
point.
would say is, you see, me, I can never fully say that education didn't give me anything. Because me, I would have never known I love film if it wasn't for education. I learned that I love film in school, in high school.
Yeah.
Because when people are writing compositions, teachers were impressed with my composition. You understand? To a point, a teacher stole my compositions at some point when I was in class 8. Aliniambia nipange compositions zangu zote nimpea. I never sold them again. Up until now I never sold them. So I didn't really know what that was for. Unaona, if singekuwa nimeenda education, singejua if I can write good stories. Then I continued with writing my stories in high school. Now in high school, see where I'm in. So I used to write books. Yeah. So when I write book, huyu akuja sema, baby, you're writing much. Nipe nisome. Eventually, ilikuwa inakaa week, I've not seen my book. Why? Imepasiwa kwa wiki, imepasiwa kwa ule, imepasiwa. So mwisho ndo ananiletea Sunday, hebu nielezea story. You understand? So nikaanza kujiuliza, okay, it seems people interested in my story. Unaona? So what can I do? Unaona? Pia ilimpatia the language of knowing whatever I want. The language. Unaona? So kwenda ku research nikaona, what do people with stories think? Is it only novels I can do? Because me, I want to see something physical. I don't want to write. Understand? That's when I researched about film. And that's where my passion grew. Unaona, sir, I didn't grow with that passion for film nikiwa mtoto. No, I just watched them. I never knew that one day I could do it.
So between education and passion, if education and passion were to be weighed, were to be like, should I call it passion, talent, ability? Those one, you get it in one bracket. Talent, passion, abilities were in one bracket, and education were brought to you. Yeah, were brought to you. Which one do you think
It's important.
should come first?
For me personally, education gives you more exposure to know what you're passionate about. You
You didn't know
understand?
what you're passionate about if
Without
you didn't
education.
start.
For example, see, you knew about your rights from education.
Exactly.
Now that's how you became a fighter for GBV, because now you know about it. So it gives you a sense of what your passion is. Now it's up to you to go find it. Nana, don't rely on it. May I tell people?
I think, let me tell you, Sunday, I think education is relative. How do you define education? You know, sometimes maybe we are saying education and in somebody's mind I am seated in a class with books, with this and
And
this.
that's why I was
And
saying
that's not
education is not like a classroom.
That's not it. So those things, you cannot give me education and talent and passion. You told me choose between education and choose between
Because they
talent.
work together.
They go together. They complement each other.
And that's why I've asked, because every time when I tell people about education is like a source of knowledge.
Yeah.
You know, hand with the tag education. It's a
As the
source
Bible
of,
says,
it's a,
without knowledge, my people perish.
exactly. So knowledge is like a package with a tag of education. Inside this tag of education, there's skills.
You know what I think
There is
you have a
knowledge.
point, but I think you're delivering the wrong.
Exactly. Because about education, every time people tell me education, you know, when we are being told about basketry, that was form of education being passed to us, that was kind of information being passed, when people are doing butter trade, butter trade before it come to like money currency was before it was now business class, before the all these things come, it was butter exchange, and you are being told 1 kg of maize can go with you can't take 1 kg of maize and you give me a cow. So I think education, definition of education is what we should get. When we get proper definition of education, we are going to be good. Because when you say, is your child educated? People already think Amanda Shule, Amanda University, Amanda graduate. No. Diploma certificate. But you find that is your really educated? Is your child educated? One, can this child be able to think out of the box? Creativity. No? Is this child able to speak in a language that can be understood? No. And those kind of education that we ignore and start seeing another classroom education. We are forgetting education of
everywhere.
Everywhere. Even where we are seated today here, I can learn how to do the head wrapper by observation.
Kuna watu wana hiyo knowledge. Kuna mtu bila
Ana street life. So education will help. So now people are different. I think
so. If education works for you,
let's dismiss talent is coming.
Kuna mimi niko na beshte. As in bila education, as in hawezi kwa hii maisha ya hawezi. As in unaona hawezi kabisa juani ile akili ya maisha.
Plus your education transfer.
Something this girl said about Africans. Africans were not religious. Africans were spiritual.
I miss those days.
Yes, that's the
Let's proceed.